Hello.
Hey guys!
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm real sick. And we're going to try and do it. But we're reacting today to 10,000 BC. BCE. It's already off to a bad start.
First point.
It's just a mess. I
so
watched
bad
it.
And good.
It's horrible.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Oh man. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna react to it, and it's a mess. So hold on to your seats, guys, because it's gonna be a long one. Let's get going. All right, we're gonna watch the movie because it is set in Siberia at the beginning in the Ural Mountains. Jude is Slav. We went full Slav with the meal. You've got what do we got, Jude?
Pierogi.
Yes.
We have barsh or borscht with femini or ushka, we say.
Nice.
We have chocolate,
sunflower seeds,
vodka.
Jude's got herself some
My
Russian
favorites.
vodka, and I'm sick, so I have vata. Here we go. 10,000 BC.
So just on behalf of the title, which we commented on earlier, BCE versus BC, just to differentiate the two, nowadays it's more normal or more common to say BCE as it translates to before Common Era rather than BC, which is before Christ.
Yeah.
And the reason why we do that is just to kind of respect every faith that's out there. So the more contemporary way, BCE. But yes, you still see both being used.
Yes, you
often.
do. Yeah. But this way it's also a little bit more common. Instead of BC and AD, we now have BCE and CE, which makes more sense.
Common Era.
Common Era. Yeah.
We, the Yakal, were hunters of the mightiest of all beasts, the Manak.
First of all, the Yagal are a made-up people, so don't try and Google them, because they're not real. But they say that they're from the Ural Mountains, which are actually in northern Russia, kind of like in the Siberia area. They kind of form the unofficial border between Europe and Asia. They kind of run just around down through Kazakhstan area. And this actually could be an accurate place for where people would be living in 10,000 BC, because we have evidence for people living there from 75,000 years ago. So it is a place where people were inhabiting. In fact, by the time this movie was supposedly set in, humans were actually in every continent around the world except for Antarctica. So we literally we're everywhere, guys. We had already populated the earth. And if you look at these structures that they're living in, you see that these huts with all these big animal bones, the mammoth bones. This is also quite accurate as well. We have found evidence of these sorts of huts being found, mammoth huts, in these areas around this time, but they're very difficult to date because the bones that they are made up of can be various thousands of years old because, they get repurposed, people recycle things, so they are very difficult to date, but these are pretty much what people would be living in at the time. So, good job. Off to a half-decent start.
Just wait.
Just wait.
But our world began to change. The Manaks came later and later to our valley, and there were times when they did not come at all.
So for the beginning monologue, they do mention an extinction event occurring, and this is also regarding the mammoths. And so on behalf of mammoths, there is a lot of evidence of them existing not just in this area, but all over. And so you have to consider that these extinction events would happen at different times, in different ways, in different places. So saying they're fully extinct wouldn't quite fly. Also, that's not really how it happens. It doesn't really wipe out in one go. And so with regards to the time period and this film and all that with the mammoths, they were likely becoming scarcer by 10,000 BCE, but it wasn't necessarily true that they were all gone. So they might exist in small pockets, especially in the northern part, like where the setting of the film is, but not completely wiped out.
And actually, fun fact, some mammoths were actually living on a little island, in the north, middle of nowhere, when the pyramids are being built.
Yeah.
So they lasted for a really long time, guys.
They are quite resilient animals, like elephants are today. So
I love mammoths.
Oh, I love
They're so
elephants.
cute.
Only one amongst us, the one we called Old Mother, the last of her kind. Many times she asked,
The Old Mother. So we don't know what they mean by that. What is the last of her kind? One assumption could be that she is the last of, say, a Neanderthal line, which is a more commonly understood, species that was around as sapiens were as well. And there is evidence of interhybridization, and so there is the chance that the DNA still exists in some of us today in our genetic makeup. However, if she is just a Neanderthal, that wouldn't really fly well because they were extinct about 40,000 years prior to that time period.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really work, but the possibility of that hybrid is still there. But we don't know who Old Mother is.
Yeah, they all interbred. They're all human.
Yeah. But there's a whole, with evolution, it's a really big discussion, but at a very basic level, this is where we're going to stand.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Regarding skin tones, when it comes to evolution, so with our ancient ancestors, the lighter skin thing is something you see in northern climates, and it was something, an evolutionary development that essentially allowed for these people to absorb more vitamin D in colder climates, and that's why you see people in the north having evolutionarily lighter skin versus our predecessors in Africa having darker skin, because you didn't need to absorb as much because of the sunshine in Africa. The Yagal people would have had darker skin, just regarding the time period, and so they would have resembled more indigenous Americans or nomadic Siberians with darker features, including darker hair and darker eyes. So at least for the Yagal people in the film, they got that right with the eye color and the hair color.
From this hunt a warrior will arise, and this one will be his woman.
Yo, that's not cool though.
Yeah.
Like, how dare.
But she knew that the child with the blue eyes was a blessing she must protect.
Swedish girl?
To our people, she was ever.
Spanish maybe? Alright, blue eyes. This, beautiful, like, look at you. Woo, scary, magic. Blue eyes. Blue eyes, they are a mutation. They are a genetic mutation, and they did not exist in 10,000 BC. So Jude is a very recent addition to our human species.
I'm a mutation.
Yeah, girl. She's like an X-Men. Yes. Blue eyes didn't actually happen until 5700 BCE. So they're a little bit early, I would say. We get this mutation first with the Motala people from Sweden, and then later on in Spain in around 5000 BC or so, but they still had the darker skin in Spain with the darker hair. Blue eyes didn't even exist at all before 8000 BCE. So, like, who is this witch woman? Like, I don't trust her. She a witch! Don't do it! Ah!
I like the dog. It's awfully shirtless for...
The tundra?
Mm-hmm. You guys didn't have to be shirtless. I mean, if they're that close to your settlement, why would you creep up like that?
No, man. They're so huge. Why are they so... That's so dangerous!
And even carnivores do that to your points, and then they run.
Right?
Like, they know you're there.
Right? It's not... You can't hide. Oh, surprise!
You didn't see me! I was in the grass.
You nosy.
Tick found the lead bull.
They do talk about the lead bull in the movie when they're hunting the mammoths. But guess what? Mammoths were actually a matriarchal society, just like the African elephant today. So male mammoths were actually kicked out of the pack, tribe, group, whatever they were. They were kicked out once reaching sexual maturity. So they wouldn't be finding like the lead bull. They would be finding the lead cow.
The lead lady. The leading lady.
The leading lady. Come on, guys. We're not even 15 minutes into the movie yet. And this is just ridiculous.
Whistles. That's another thing.
Did they have whistles?
I've never looked it up for this area in this time period, but
They're just chasing all of the mammoths.
they're pretty fast, I don't know
Come
if
on,
you
guys.
catch up.
Like, I get it. Humans, the whole point of our survival was that we can run for a long time, but like...
Not that fast.
No.
This is... You did it.
Oh my god!
This is the kind of hunting strategy that we would not evolve from because it's stupid.
So stupid. We would have all died.
Further on the mammoths.
More on the mammoths.
They're really big in the film, when in reality they were kind of the same size as elephants are today. Further, hunting the mammoths. How humans in the past hunted mammoths is a very debated topic. We're not really sure. There is a lot of evidence depending on where you are and different methods and techniques, but likely there was no running through the mammoth's feet. There was no close combat in that fashion.
Not like the Lion King.
No. Which would be fun, but also immediate
horrifying.
But the way that it would probably have been done would have been from a higher safe distance and with spears and objects thrown at them and the like.
Yeah.
There is evidence depending on where. Sometimes there were traps built, and you can find that in the western part of the world where the mammoths were southwestern. But it depends, and it's still debated, widely debated.
So if you guys become archaeologists, maybe you can figure it out. They didn't do it like that. There was no like Simba running through the forest.
Yeah. And also, these animals are actually quite fast.
They're very fast and they're very scary.
Yeah, you don't want to be that close to them. So using a technique that involves other tools like that actually would make sense, but not to that capacity.
Yeah, they got a trap.
Traps, yeah. Traps would make more sense.
What happened to your people?
They were killed by four-legged demons.
What are those? I don't know, man.
Cows! They were riding cows! The four-legged demons!
Yeah! I love that in this movie they're calling horses four-legged demons. Like they've never seen them before. But if you look at cave art and everything, even from this period or earlier, you'll notice that humans had been interacting with horses for a very long time. They didn't look like normal horses do today, so obviously the horses in the movie are not accurate. But they were there, and they were even supposedly hunted for meat and everything like that. They were eating them. Riding horses, on the other hand, they didn't do that. The earliest date that has ever been suggested for the domestication of horses is 6000 BCE, and even that is like so many people will disagree with you. So the earliest evidence that we actually have with horse remains buried with human artifacts is 4000 BC. Of course, there's also that difference between the domestication of using horses for riding, labor, pulling things, and then domesticating of horses for eating, like with cattle. So those happened definitely at different times. They were probably domesticated first for using them as farm animals type things, of just eating them, and then later on they were used for more of a purpose. The first evidence that we have for horses being used for transport is actually from chariot burials that are around 2000 BCE. So they're 8,000 years too early to be riding horses. Everything's so wrong with this movie. Oh my god, are they using shackles?
Oh, cool. It's a nice year.
Okay.
This one is just
Why is there metal in this movie? Not just like metal, but like the amount of metal in this movie. They did not have metal smelting or metal working in 10,000 BC. And the earliest evidence that we actually have for metal working and smithing and all that stuff is from copper, and that is in 8700 BCE. And even then, you know, they're not making chains and armor and stirrups and like whatever the handcuffs and cages. They're making like fish hooks, little beads, maybe a rod.
3-age system. The
Yeah.
metal 3-age system.
There is the Stone Age, which is 10,000 BC. There is the Bronze Age, and then there's the Iron Age. I have a video on the 3-age system. If you would like to watch it and learn more, you can do that. Click on the card in the corner there, because it'll educate y'all a little bit. And then, you know, the early Bronze Age is 3000 BC, so they're several thousands of years off from this. They would not have swords, they wouldn't have daggers. The materials that they would use are more bone, flint, ivory, normal, more organic, natural objects from the earth, and that were not required to, like, smelt.
Especially considering the area. I don't know what mineral deposits they have in that area. I've never looked it up.
They wouldn't have iron. They might have iron. But they wouldn't know how to use it anyway.
Oh, we could say so many things about their hair. Could say so many things about the clothing. I love this movie. It's so good to watch.
Their jewelry. I feel like they just like watched the Flintstones and they went, alright.
That's about right.
I'm already over it. I wonder how many minutes are we into this movie now? So, that's enough for today because I'm over it. I need a break. So we're gonna put this video, we're gonna make this video into 2 different parts because I'm so over it. Stay tuned for part 2 coming when we continue watching this movie and balking at it. Big thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and click the link in my description below. You get some really cool behind the scenes stuff, like all the behind the scenes videos of Jude and I making these reaction videos, which has extra reactions. Also, big thank you to David Ian Howe of Ethnocynology. Go follow him on Instagram. He's a really cool guy. He helped fact check everything for us to make sure we were giving you the correct info because I'm not prehistory. Jude is, but I'm not. Follow Jude on Instagram, Jude Archives. Follow me on Instagram. And as always, stay dirty, my friends.